Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Lego Indiana Jones 2. The adventure continues. Although, at this rate, I think the subtitle might be better as the abridged version, because we skipped a lot of The Last Crusade so far. Many scenes, and important scenes at that, and it's just, they're not there. They were in the first game, Lego Indiana Jones 1, and it makes sense that they wouldn't just bother to recreate Indiana Jones scenes from the first game, but there's still, I mean, the fact that the two games aren't integrated into one complete saga like Star Wars Saga. In a lot of ways, I wouldn't be able to make as loud of a complaint about this, the way Indiana Jones 1 and 2 aren't integrated, if it weren't for the fact that the complete saga had already come out. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, when I looked at the list of Lego games, the complete saga was definitely out by the time this game had been made. Now, maybe there was maybe they were in production at the same time, or maybe there's some other reason why there wasn't a complete saga. But that's what they should have made here, is instead of just adding the Crystal Skull and a few like filler scenes. This level in particular is a great level because they didn't have anything like this in the first game. Instead, it was just a cutscene. And in any video game, if you just see a cutscene where a major event happens, there's opportunity at least to turn that into a level instead. Here we have Elsa in a suit. Was she in a suit in that scene? Maybe. And there's a good line, and I'll probably butcher it, where Indiana Jones has a gun on her, and she goes, "You came all the way to Berlin just for me?" And he goes, "No, I came all the way to Berlin for the book." Because there's this whole side plot where Elsa, as a spy, still seems to have the idea that Indy is infatuated with her, which may or may not have been the case. Let's see, it looks like there's several bad guys that are going to end up on that platform. I'll have to fight them when they show up. There's quite a lot in this level, actually. Ironically, I just watched a video talking about some of the architectural buildings around the world that were planned to be built. And the Nazi regime had some very big plans. They were going to build a giant dome that was big, I think, big enough to hold 400,000 people, like largest building ever, as a place where I assume speeches by Hitler would have taken place, and plays and things, and sports events. But then they also plan to build a even bigger stadium with in which they were going to have the Olympics happen all the way for the rest of the world. It's like forever. So instead of the Olympics, Winter and Summer Olympics, going to different countries, their plan was going to be the Olympics would be always held in Berlin. And they were working on all of this, or architecturally thinking about all these things after their assumed victory in World War II, and then they didn't win World War II, so, but it definitely total world domination. And here they're burning books. Let's never forget. First they'll come for your speech, then they'll come for your thoughts. Well, I guess that's probably not accurate. They probably will first come for your actions and your other liberties. Then they'll come for your speech. Then they'll get rid of books and thoughts. This is a mess of a fight, though. I've got the True Adventurer, but, like, there's army men in green running around. Again, take note, no actual Nazi symbols in this entire game. It's just red stripes. So, I have to do this to bring this guy out, and then take him down. And let's see, can I pick up his gun? Give me that bazooka. Of course, the problem with the bazooka still hasn't been fixed. It was a problem in LEGO Indiana Jones 1 where it pretty much guaranteed death. Let's see, let's try to speed this up as much as possible. That one was giving me trouble. Alright, let's see. Where's my whip? Well, if I've got a gun, now let's just shoot this guy. Will that work? Nope. Alright, we'll go to the whip then. Out of the way, everybody. So, having this collection of extra things is not helpful. Extra enemies constantly spawning. What they needed to do is not have these green guys in army. I don't even know if the Nazi army wore green military fatigues. I guess they probably did, but I mean, we just don't need any of these green guys. We don't need any of the gray guys. It should just be the regular people in berets and hats and stuff running around, and that way they don't attack me or get in my way. And see, Elsa's calling him for more help. Oh, this is another great example of Indiana Jones' just propensity towards violence against women, because he does grab Elsa by the throat, and it's not really justifiable, but I mean, he doesn't want her to scream while he's surrounded by a bunch of Nazis, but he is choking her, and they have a whole line. It's like, with one scream 1,000 men will be here on top of you, and he goes, with one squeeze you'll be dead, which is not a terrible line. I mean, it really isn't. It's just, in the meantime, he is also threatening to strangle, if not strangling, a woman. It's not as bad as Temple of the Doom, I suppose, because in Temple of Doom, he just grabs a girl who is literally just walking next to him, and or sitting next to him and threatens to stab her with a big old meat fork. And she really hadn't done anything to deserve that. Was there anything similar in... I don't remember if there was a scene in the Raiders of the Ark, but perhaps I would say, to not be hyperbolic, Steven Spielberg should think about that. That's something he never bothered to edit. He's taking... He went back and took the guns out of E.T., which, okay, sure. FBI agents shouldn't have their guns drawn and potentially pointed at kids, even if they are harboring an alien, although maybe they should. There we go. Kind of dull level again. I mean, there's a lot of repetition. I would be glad if that level was in Lego Indiana Jones 1, but it would have been nice if they had maybe just fought Elsa on her own. Here we have another example of, well, maybe not another example, but the first example in which the girl should have been the bad guy and the enemy you're fighting, and instead they gave me like 20 nondescript generic bad guys. Lego games in particular have had a problem with that. That you'll run into dozens and dozens of different male enemies and not a single female enemies. Which is a double standard, really. And I'm being very inconsistent here because I just complained about in the movie where Indiana Jones, the hero, who should be above such things, seems to, in at least two scenes, choose to do some pretty violent things to women, and now I'm in the same breath being nuanced, and some might argue inconsistent, by saying the Lego games in general let you punch and break all of these unnamed male Lego minifigs, and you don't ever get anything close to that as far as female characters. In fact, there is the psychic lady in this game who, yes, she is a boss you fight for at the end of the Crystal Skull. So the new movie is a little bit more modern a movie, so it's more modern in its way of thinking. And sometimes I kind of wonder if modern is really just a way to put it. It seems like people's ways of thinking seem to shift quite quickly. See, that's some kind of blender. And am I supposed to pick up am I supposed to pick up apples? Because none of these are items I can pick up. They come out of the box and then just disappear. And see, that's the next level. And yep, it looks like they're skipping the entire big scene with the tank fight, which is yet another scene that really can't be skipped if you're covering The Last Crusade. Since Steven Spielberg movies in particular are just a bunch of scenes, action scenes, with also a bunch of scenes that are conversation scenes, and the two are kind of separated pretty sharply. You can't really skip any of it. It's probably sounds like more of a compliment than I mean for it to say that Steven Spielberg's movies have no unimportant scenes. That's what I mean to say when I say that. Sounds like more of a compliment than that. By what I mean is that that's kind of something I expect from all movies, but certainly it's not something I get in all movies. And maybe not from movies, but TV series and other things. There are certainly are scenes that are unimportant scenes and that add a little characterization. I would think that, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, since they're making that book into 6 hours of footage, there almost certainly had to be scenes where they were just sitting around talking and getting to know each other, and that was a big emphasis on in the Fellowship of the Ring and all of that. And you don't get that in Indiana Jones. They do sometimes have discussions and talking sections, but what they're talking about is an important topic that has to be addressed right then and there, not a like pointless topic that is just about characterization of the people. You might better describe it to say, I don't think anybody ever tells a joke in any of the Indiana Jones movies. I think funny things happen, certainly, possibly, maybe not. But I don't think any character would actually tell a joke. Well, I think there actually was a scene where they did it in The Last Crusade, but that's the only one. The problem with saying anything definitive about 6 hours of footage, whether it's the Indiana Jones first original trilogy or any of the others, is or the Lord of the Rings series, is I'm going to be proven wrong no matter what I say. There will be at least one incident or of everything. The one thing I'm not seeing on this level, in this open world, is that boat that we started on. I know it's out there somewhere. Well, at least I think it's out there somewhere. But I don't see it. Oh well. How long have we been going? Barely 18 minutes. Oh, darn it. No. Get back up there. The second I take my eyes off the screen to look at the clock. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. I need to get back up where I was, because I don't know how to get up there otherwise. Oh, man. Man, oh man, oh man. How do I even get out of the water? Let's start with that. So, how does one... I mean, you can't just jump up and grab onto that rope, can you? And I don't think I can just... I don't think I can just run over here and run back into the level I was at. And do either one of us have the book? No, we don't. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It seems a little inconsistent too. We can do races more than once. That might prove to be the only way we can well, that got me somewhat closer. It might prove to be the only way we can get extra studs. We're still having a major problem with that. And see, I was just about to wrap up. And without an explosive character, is there any way around? This might be a flaw in their design. Okay, here. There is a ladder hidden back here. I assume this ladder was either not down when we first started, or we could have gotten to this point before. At 200,000, we now, like, my count may be off here, but we either have one more level and then the made-up boss fight, or we just have the made-up boss fight, which, what would it be? Would it be fighting the Last Crusader? Or would he get really big? They seem to have a tendency to want to make electrical big bosses. So maybe he'll just magically get bigger for some weird reason. Or maybe it will be Donovan, if that's the name of the bad guy. I don't even know. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.